I'm going to click the button in the top left there, the plus button. I'm going to click on buttons, and then I'm going to give it a name. We just want to control the heating, so I'm going to do heating off. Heating off, okay, and now I want to make another button, and this is another button now. I'm going to do heating on, surprisingly enough. Add. Don't fill anything else in the other options, just leave them blank. So we've got heating off, heating on. I've just jumped on the laptop because it's easier to see what's going on the laptop. I go to find our heaters. This is one of the electric heaters, the accounts office, and we've got production heater as well. I click on the play icon, and that brings up this menu, and we click on event control. So it looks in the memory to see if there's anything set up. There isn't anything. We've got no play event set up. Now to turn it on, I'll go and find my heater switch that I've just made, my heater button, so heating on, and we'll have action on for that. So I'll click on add, and then we need to find heating off, and we'll add action off. We click on add, and then we save that to the device, and then we just do the same thing, close that, and then just do the same thing for the production heater. I've just saved the production heater event to the device, so now we're ready to try it. So we close that. If we click on the heating on button, we should firstly see one of the accounts office come on, and then we should see the production heater come on. And obviously if we click the heating off button, we should see the accounts office go off and the production heating go off. Now there is another way of turning everything on at once, and this literally just turns everything possible on or off at once, but it's not really intended for the heating, because the heating is a control system where it takes the reading from a sensor and operates the heater. It doesn't quite work the same. So for heating, you can't really use this, but just for all the other sockets like the CNC machine and all the desks and the reflow oven and things like that, we can actually just use the buttons up here. So the Z on button will just turn everything on. Likewise, the Z off, also it does actually turn the heating on and off, but not in the way you intended, so you can't really use that for the heating. It just puts it into cold mode or frost mode, as you can see. So we'll just go and turn everything off again with the Z off button, and that should just shut everything down. You can see it turned the accounts office off, and it's started turning all the other things off. So the app buttons that we've added, they're quite useful for when you're using the app, but sometimes you just don't want to use your phone. So you can add actual physical buttons. We can use actual physical buttons to switch things on and off. We have both an IKEA one and a Sonoff one here, and we set up the Sonoff one to turn the reflow oven on and off. So I'm just going to give it a click, and we can see it turns the reflow oven on, and it also turns it off again with one click. So as well as the Sonoff buttons, we also have an IKEA button, and that has an on and off separately, and we've used that to set up a couple of things in the office. It turns the heating on. I'll just turn it on now. It turns the heating on, it turns the soldering desks on, and we can see firstly the heating goes on, then it turns the main soldering desk on, then it turns Matt's desk on, and then likewise if we turn it off, press the off side, it'll turn the heating off, then it'll start turning the soldering desks off from Matt's desk. To add a switch, we just go to the usual method to add Zigbee devices, and that is go to the plus icon and then click on discover. Once the switches have been discovered, if we go down the bottom to the tools menu, click on tools, and then you can see the switches button there. We click on that, and that brings up our switches that we have. We have the production switch, which is the IKEA Rodret switch, and we have the reflow oven switch, and we don't need to add any actions in there or do it or save any events or anything. We just leave them as they are, as they're discovered. Say for example the soldering desk, we turn that on with the IKEA Rodret. If we click on the play icon and we go to on off control, we can see we have the production switch in there. So that's how we add a physical switch. We generally would use the on off control. There are different ways of doing it, but that's the most straightforward way. When you're turning a Zigbee thing on with a Zigbee thing, use this on off control menu.